Elsevier, Wikipedia Audio. Elsevier is an information and analytics company and one of the world's major providers of scientific, technical, and medical information. It was established in 1880 as a publishing company. It is a part of the RELX Group, known until 2015 as Read Elsevier. Its products include journals such as The Lancet and Cell, the Science Direct collection of electronic journals, the Trends and Current Opinion series of journals, the online citation database Scopus, and the Clinicalkey solution for clinicians. Elsevier's products and services include the entire academic research life cycle, including software and data management, instruction and assessment tools. Elsevier publishes approximately 420,000 articles annually in 2,500 journals. Its archives contain over 13 million documents and 30,000 ebooks. Total yearly downloads amount to more than 900 million. Elsevier's high profit margins and its copyright practices have subjected it to criticism by researchers. History. Elsevier was founded in 1880 and took the name from the Dutch publishing house Elsevier, which has no connection with the present company. The Elsevier family operated as booksellers and publishers in the Netherlands. The founder, Ludwig Elsevier, lived in Leiden and established the business in 1580. The expansion of Elsevier in the scientific field after 1945 was funded with the profits of the newsweekly Elsevier, which published its first issue on October 27, 1945. The weekly was an instant success and earned lots of money. The weekly was a continuation, as is stated in its first issue, of the monthly Elsevier, which was founded in 1891 to promote the name of the publishing house and had to stop publication in December 1940 because of the Nazi occupation. The Federal Research Public Access Act, the Research Works Act, PRISM. In the case of PRISM, the Association of American Publishers hired Eric Dezenhall, the so-called pit bull of public relations. Horizon 2020, Office of Science and Technology Policy. In 1947, Elsevier began publishing its first English-language journal, Biochimica et Biophysica Acta. In 2013, Elsevier acquired Mendeley, a UK company making software for managing and sharing research papers. Mendeley, previously an open platform for sharing of research, was greatly criticized for the acquisition, which users saw as acceding to the paywall approach to research literature. Mendeley's previously open sharing system now allows exchange of paywalled resources only within private groups. The New Yorker described Elsevier's reasons for buying Mendeley as twofold: to acquire its user data, and to destroy or co-opt an open science icon that threatens its business model. In December 2013, Elsevier announced a collaboration with University College, London, the UCL Big Data Institute. Elsevier's investment is substantial and thought to be more than £10 million. In the primary research market during 2016, researchers submitted over 1.5 million research papers to Elsevier-based publications. Over 20,000 editors managed the peer review and selection of these papers, resulting in the publication of more than 420,000 articles in over 2,500 journals. In 2013, the 5 editorial groups Elsevier, Springer, Wiley-Blackwell, Taylor and Francis and Sage publications published more than half of all academic papers in the peer-reviewed literature. At that time, Elsevier accounted for 16% of the world market in science, technology, and medical publishing. Elsevier breaks down its revenue sources by format and by geographic region. Approximately 42% of revenue by geography in 2016 derived from North America, 26% from Europe and the remaining 32% from the rest of the world. Approximately 79% of revenue by format came from electronic usage, 20% came from print, and 1% came from face-to-face. Elsevier employs more than 7,200 people in over 70 offices across 24 countries. It is headed by Chief Executive Officer Ron Moebd. Company statistics. In 2016, Elsevier accounted for 34% of the revenues of RELX Group. In operating profits, it represented 40%. Adjusted operating profits rose by 2% from 2015 to 2016. Following the integration of its science and technology and health sciences divisions in 2012, Elsevier has operated under a traditional business structure with a single CEO. Products and services include electronic and print versions of journals, textbooks, and reference works, and cover the health, life, physical and social sciences. The target markets are academic and government research institutions, corporate research labs, booksellers, librarians, scientific researchers, authors, editors, physicians, nurses, allied health professionals, medical and nursing students and schools, medical researchers, pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, and research establishments. It publishes in 13 languages including English, German, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Polish, Japanese, Hindi, and Chinese. Flagship products and services include Virtually, Science Direct, Scopus, Cyrus, Embase, Engineering Village, Compendex, Sal, SciVal, Pure, and Analytical Services, the Consult series, virtual clinical excursions, and major reference works such as Gray's Anatomy, Nelson Pediatrics, Dorland's Illustrated Medical Dictionary, Netter's Atlas of Human Anatomy, and online versions of many journals including The Lancet. Science Direct is Elsevier's platform for online electronic access to its journals and over 6,000 ebooks, reference works, book series, and handbooks. The articles are grouped in 4 main sections: physical sciences and engineering, life sciences, health sciences, and social sciences and humanities. For most articles on the website, abstracts are freely available. Access to the full text of the article often requires a subscription or pay-per-view purchase. Elsevier conducts conferences, exhibitions, and workshops worldwide, with over 50 conferences a year covering life sciences, physical sciences and engineering, social sciences, and health sciences. In 2014, Elsevier conducted 48 conferences attended by 11,328 delegates from 128 countries. Operating structure. Global conferences. Elsevier announced the Gold or Green Open Access Journal models. Gold or Green Open Access Model. Corporate Affairs. Corporate Social Responsibility. Criticism and Controversies. Pricing. The Elsevier Foundation supports libraries in developing countries, women scientists, and nursing facilities. In 2016, Elsevier's not-for-profit Elsevier Foundation committed $1 million a year, for 3 years, to programs encouraging diversity in science, technology, and medicine and promoting science research in developing countries. In addition to issues indicated in this section, Elsevier's parent company has been criticized for its links to the weapons industry. Resignation of editorial boards. In recent years, the subscription rates charged by the company for its journals have been criticized. Some very large journals charge subscription prices as high as £9,634, far above average, and many British universities pay more than £1 million to Elsevier annually. The company has been criticized not only by advocates of a switch to the open access publication model, but also by universities whose library budgets make it difficult for them to afford current journal prices. For example, a resolution by Stanford University's Senate singled out Elsevier's journals as being disproportionately expensive compared to their educational and research value, which librarians should consider dropping, and encouraged its faculty not to contribute articles or editorial or review efforts to publishers and journals that engage in exploitive or exorbitant pricing. Similar guidelines and criticism of Elsevier's pricing policies have been passed by the University of California, Harvard University, and Duke University. In July 2015, the Association of Universities in the Netherlands announced a plan to start boycotting Elsevier, which refused to negotiate on any open access policy for Dutch universities. In December 2016, Nature Publishing Group reported that academics in Germany, Peru, and Taiwan are to lose access to Elsevier journals as negotiations had broken down with the publisher. A complaint about Elsevier/RELX was made to the Competition and Markets Authority in December 2016 by 3 UK-based academics. In November 1999, the entire editorial board of the Journal of Logic Programming collectively resigned after 16 months of unsuccessful negotiations with Elsevier Press about the price of library subscriptions. The personnel created a new journal, Theory and Practice of Logic Programming, with Cambridge University Press at a much lower price, while Elsevier continued publication with a new editorial board and a slightly different name. In 2002, dissatisfaction at Elsevier's pricing policies caused the European Economic Association to terminate an agreement with Elsevier designating Elsevier's European Economic Review as the official journal of the association. The EEA launched a new journal, the Journal of the European Economic Association. In 2003, the entire editorial board of the Journal of Algorithms resigned to start ACM transactions on algorithms with a different, lower-priced, not-for-profit publisher, at the suggestion of Journal of Algorithms founder Donald Knuth. The Journal of Algorithms continued under Elsevier with a new editorial board until October 2009, when it was discontinued. The same happened in 2005 to the International Journal of Solids and Structures, whose editors resigned to start the Journal of Mechanics of Materials and Structures. However, a new editorial board was quickly established and the journal continues in apparently unaltered form with editors D.A. Hills and Stelios Kyriakidis. In August 2006, the entire editorial board of the distinguished mathematical journal Topology handed in their resignation, again because of stalled negotiations with Elsevier to lower the subscription price. This board then launched the new Journal of Topology at a far lower price, under the auspices of the London Mathematical Society. After this mass resignation, Topology remained in circulation under a new editorial board until 2009, when the last issue was published. The French École Normale Supérieure has stopped having Elsevier publish the journal Annales scientifiques de l'École Normale Supérieure. Action against academics posting their own articles online. The elevated pricing of field journals in economics, most of which are published by Elsevier, was one of the motivations that moved the American Economic Association to launch the American Economic Journal in 2009. In May 2015, Stephen Leader was removed from his role as editor of the Medical Journal of Australia after its publisher decided to outsource the journal's production to Elsevier. As a consequence, all but one of the journal's editorial advisory committee members signed a letter of resignation. Lobbying efforts against open access. In October 2015, the entire editorial staff of the general linguistics journal Lingua resigned in protest of Elsevier's unwillingness to agree to their terms of fair open access. Editor-in-Chief Johan Rurik also announced that the Lingua staff would establish a new journal, Glossa. DG Mark, a company representing Elsevier, recently told the University of Calgary to remove articles published by faculty authors on university web pages. Although such self-archiving of academic articles may be legal under the fair dealing provisions in Canadian copyright law, the university complied. Harvard University and the University of California, Irvine also received takedown notices for self-archived academic articles, a first for Harvard, according to Peter Suber. Chaos, solitons and fractals. Sponsored journals. Shill Review offer. Months after its acquisition of academia.edu rival Mendeley, Elsevier sent thousands of takedown notices to academia.edu, a practice that has since ceased following widespread complaint by academics, according to academia.edu founder and chief executive Richard Price. After Elsevier acquired the repository SSRN in May 2016, academics started complaining that some of their work has been removed without notice. The action was explained as a technical error. Elsevier have been known to be involved in lobbying against open access. These have included the likes of. There was speculation that the editor-in-chief of Elsevier journal Chaos, Solitons and Fractals, Mohammed El-Naski, misused his power to publish his own work without appropriate peer review. The journal had published 322 papers with El-Naski as author since 1993. The last issue of December 2008 featured 5 of his papers. The controversy was covered extensively in blogs. The publisher announced in January 2009 that El-Naski had retired as editor-in-chief. As of November 2011, the co-editors-in-chief of the journal were Maurice Corbage and Paolo Grigolini. In June 2011, El-Naski sued the journal Nature for libel, claiming that his reputation had been damaged by their November 2008 article about his retirement, which included statements that Nature had been unable to verify his claimed affiliations with certain international institutions. The suit came to trial in November 2011 and was dismissed in July 2012, with the judge ruling that the article was substantially true, contained honest comment and was the product of responsible journalism. The judgment noted that El-Naski, who represented himself in court, had failed to provide any documentary evidence that his papers had been peer-reviewed. Judge Victoria Sharp also found reasonable and serious grounds for suspecting that El-Nasky used a range of false names to defend his editorial practice in communications with Nature, and described this behavior as curious and bizarre. At a 2009 court case in Australia where Merck & Co. was being sued by a user of Vioxx, the plaintiff alleged that Merck had paid Elsevier to publish the Australasian Journal of Bone and Joint Medicine, which had the appearance of being a peer-reviewed academic journal but in fact contained only articles favorable to Merck drugs. Merck described the journal as a complementary publication, denied claims that articles within it were ghost-written by Merck, and stated that the articles were all reprinted from peer-reviewed medical journals. In May 2009, Elsevier Health Sciences CEO Hansen released a statement regarding Australia-based sponsored journals, conceding that they were sponsored article compilation publications, on behalf of pharmaceutical clients, that were made to look like journals and lacked the proper disclosures. The statement acknowledged that it was an unacceptable practice. The scientist reported that, according to an Elsevier spokesperson, 6 sponsored publications were put out by their Australia office and bore the Excerpta Medica imprint from 2000 to 2005, namely the Australasian Journal of Bone and Joint Medicine, the Australasian Journal of General Practice, the Australasian Journal of Neurology, the Australasian Journal of Cardiology, the Australasian Journal of Clinical Pharmacy, and the Australasian Journal of Cardiovascular Medicine. Excerpta Medica was a strategic medical communications agency run by Elsevier, according to the imprint's web page. In October 2010, Excerpta Medica was acquired by Adelphi Worldwide. According to the BBC, the firm offered a £17.25 Amazon voucher to academics who contributed to the textbook Clinical Psychology if they would go on Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble and give it 5 stars. Elsevier said that encouraging interested parties to post book reviews isn't outside the norm in scholarly publishing, nor is it wrong to offer to nominally compensate people for their time. But in all instances the request should be unbiased, with no incentives for a positive review, and that's where this particular email went too far, and that it was a mistake by a marketing employee. One of Elsevier's journals was caught in the sting set up by John Bohannon, published in Science, called Who's Afraid of Peer Review? The journal Drug Invention Today accepted an obviously bogus paper made up by Bohannon that should have been rejected by any good peer review system. Instead, Drug Invention Today was among many open access journals that accepted the fake paper for publication. As of 2014, this journal had been transferred to a different publisher. In 2014, Elsevier was found to be selling some articles which should have been open access, but had been put behind a paywall. A related case occurred in 2015, when Elsevier charged for downloading an open access article from a journal published by John Wiley & Sons. However, it was not clear whether Elsevier was in violation of the license under which the article was made available on their website. Elsevier are one of the most frequent publishers who have been found to be selling open access content. The Resource Paywall Watch is a website dedicated to monitoring and documenting notable problems at academic publishers which documents such cases. In November 2015, Elsevier blocked a scientist from performing text mining research at scale on Elsevier papers, even though his institution already pays for access to Elsevier journal content. The data were collected via parsing of downloaded PDF and HTML files, although Elsevier claimed that the method used was screen scraping. In 2015, Elsevier filed a lawsuit against the sites Sci-Hub and LibGen, which make available copyright-protected articles for free. Elsevier also claimed illegal access to institutional accounts. A group of researchers, writers, and artists wrote an open letter in support of Sci-Hub and LibGen. In 2015, Elsevier announced a service called Science Direct Wiki Editor, which offered 45 top Wikipedia editors free access to their otherwise paywalled Science Direct platform. This was met with a mixed response. In 2017, Elsevier then launched a rival service to Wikipedia titled Science Direct Topics, with a science definitions service that provides encyclopedia-style entries on key scientific topics. In 2003, various university librarians began coordinating with each other to complain about Elsevier's big deal journal bundling packages, in which the company offered a group of journal subscriptions to libraries at a certain rate, but in which librarians claimed there was no economical option to subscribe to only the popular journals at a rate comparable to the bundled rate. Librarians continued to discuss the implications of the pricing schemes, many feeling pressured into buying the Elsevier packages without other options. On January 21, 2012, mathematician Timothy Gowers publicly announced he would boycott Elsevier, noting that others in the field have been doing so privately. The three reasons for the boycott are high subscription prices for individual journals, bundling subscriptions to journals of different value and importance, and Elsevier's support for SOPA, PIPA, and the Research Works Act. Following this, a petition advocating non-cooperation with Elsevier appeared on the site The Cost of Knowledge. By February 2012, this petition had been signed by over 5,000 academics, growing to over 13,000 by January 2013. Elsevier disputed the claims, arguing that their prices are below the industry average, and stating that bundling is only one of several different options available to buy access to Elsevier journals. The company also claimed that its profit margins are simply a consequence of the firm's efficient operation. On February 27, 2012, Elsevier issued a statement on its website that declared that it has withdrawn support from the Research Works Act. Although the cost of knowledge movement was not mentioned, the statement indicated the hope that the move would help create a less heated and more productive climate for ongoing discussions with research funders. Hours after Elsevier's statement, the sponsors of the bill, U.S. House Representatives Darrell Issa and Carolyn Maloney, issued a joint statement saying that they would not push the bill in Congress. Germany's DEAL project, which includes over 60 major research institutions, including Göttingen University, has announced that all of its members are cancelling their contracts with Elsevier, effective January 1, 2017. The boycott is in response to Elsevier's refusal to adopt transparent business models to make publications more openly accessible. Horst Hippler, spokesperson for the DEAL consortium, states that taxpayers have a right to read what they are paying for, and that publishers must understand that the route to open access publishing at an affordable price is irreversible. In July 2017, another 13 institutions announced that they would also be cancelling their subscriptions to Elsevier journals. As of August 2017, at least 185 German institutions have now cancelled their contracts with Elsevier. As of January 2018, whilst negotiations are ongoing, around 200 German universities who cancelled their subscriptions to Elsevier journals have been granted complimentary open access to them during 2018. In 2015, a consortium of all of Netherlands' 14 universities threatened to boycott Elsevier if it could not agree that articles by Dutch authors would be made open access, and settled with the compromise of 30% of its Dutch papers becoming open access by 2018. Gerard Meyer, president of Radboud University in Nijmegen and lead negotiator on the Dutch side, notes that it's not the 100% that I hoped for. In Taiwan, more than 75% of universities, including the region's top 11 institutions, have joined a collective boycott against Elsevier. On December 7, 2016, the Taiwanese consortium, CONCERT, which represents more than 140 institutions, announced it would not renew its contract with Elsevier. In 2015, Finnish research organizations paid a total of €27 million in subscription fees. Over one-third of the total costs went to the Elsevier. The information was revealed after successful court appeal following a denied request on the subscription fees, due to confidentiality clauses in contracts with the publishers. Establishing of this fact led to creation of Tidonhinta.fi petition demanding more reasonable pricing and open access to content, signed by more than 2,800 members of the research community. While deals with other publishers have been made, this was not the case for Elsevier, leading to the NoDayLenorview.org boycott of the publisher, signed more than 600 times. In January 2018, it was confirmed that a deal had been reached between those concerned. In 2017, over 70 university libraries confirmed a contract boycott movement involving 3 publishers including Elsevier. As of January 2018, whilst negotiations remain underway, a decision will be made as to whether or not the participating libraries will continue the boycott. It was subsequently confirmed that an agreement had been reached. Imprints are brand names in publishing. Elsevier uses its imprints to market to different consumer segments. Many of them have previously been the company names of publishers that were purchased by Read Elsevier. Who's afraid of peer review? Selling open access articles. Blocking text mining research. Sci-Hub and LibGen lawsuit controversy. Wikipedia. Boycotts. The cost of knowledge boycott. Germany, Netherlands, Taiwan, Finland, South Korea. Imprints. Citations. Sources.